Well, this past weekend marked the beginning of a new run of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, which is set in modern-day East Africa.
Now, while this play is a staple among theater goers, I'm pretty sure this latest reincarnation will leave you wanting more.
Well, joining us today to discuss is Jeffrey Kissoon, who plays Caesar.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Hi.
being here.
Thank you for having me.
So talk to us about why Julius Caesar. This play just, people can't get enough of it.
Well,
it's not Macbeth, it's not Hamlet, not Romeo and Juliet, not Merchant of Venice, it's
Julius
always
Caesar
Julius
is
Caesar.
like the greatest dictator that has been assassinated, and his spirit lives on till now. I think our director, Greg Doran, when he met Nelson Mandela, he was told by Mandela that this was one of their favorite plays in Robben Island. You know, and Mandela actually underlined one of the lines of Caesar's lines.
Yes, he
which,
did.
how does it go? Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. I suppose that was the spirit of his of what was going on then.
I bet you can read the phone book and make it sound good. Can't
You think so?
Yes, that was nice.
Thank you very much.
That was nice.
That's just me.
I read somewhere that one South African actor, John Canny, he refers to Julius Caesar as Shakespeare's African play.
That's
what do you
right.
think he means by that?
Because when you look at Julius Caesar, you see the soothsayer, there's lions running around in the Capitol, there's all sorts of things. So in a sense, you can relate the kind of spiritual aspect of it to Africa. Plus you have the whole thing about dictatorships and things, and we've been inundated with those, and the civil wars that occurs after you get rid of the dictator, you know, or at least in our play, I'm not sure how much of they say tyrant, I'm not sure how much of a tyrant he actually is. I think they killed a man who actually, in our world, meaning what would be our African Roman Empire, if you see what I mean. I had to work that out myself.
I like that.
You know, there's a guy who's Julius Caesar who stands above everybody else, who is the one possibly who could unify Africa in our world, in our fantasy world of Julius Caesar, loosely set in East Kenya, but we make it a world that actually you probably wouldn't recognize now if you went into Africa, but you'll get bits of it. So it's a futuristic thing. Go on.
Now I was going to say, for those who are familiar with the play and have seen it several times, what else is going to be different about this rendition?
Well, for the fact that all the actors are of African descent.
Saw that.
And we have this wonderful band that strikes up, that sets this incredible, I don't know, party atmosphere. And then inside of that, you get these wonderful actors speaking what has to be the words of the greatest writer ever, really, in terms of theatre. We say William Shakespeare.
So the words stay true to the original.
True to the text.
Okay.
True to the text, all the way. Otherwise, it's not Shakespeare. Otherwise, you're making it up yourself.
Right.
But we've managed to make it our own. And the fact that they said it with this accent, which sort of liberates the actors, somehow, you know, when we're trying to, I don't know, produce what we call the RP, you know, I forgot what it means. But anyway, it's you feel, well, that restricts. But once you've entered into an African kind of feel, we're liberated as actors.
We're liberated.
So we can explore that language. We can go on.
Thousands of actors have played Julius Caesar over the years, including Denzel Washington.
I heard Denzel Washington has done it.
Yes.
I'm in good company.
You are in good company. What about this Julius Caesar seems to draw you actors constantly? You can't get enough of this man.
Well,
And
Julius Caesar,
what did you want to bring differently to the role? How did you make this your own?
You know something? The answer to that is simply looking at the words that Shakespeare has written and then interpreting and understanding what he's demanding of you from an actor's point of view and trying to interpret that. So it's not as if I've tried to bring anything other than myself to the role of playing it. And I think if you try to bring something else, you're not going to liberate you and be free to explore it yourself. Right. So the Julius Caesar you see is my interpretation of Shakespeare's lines, that's all. So it's
Now-
my character in a sense.
And it seems like you do a fantastic job with the character. I can just see you already filling that role very well. But let me ask you about how that role became to be an African character, because I heard that, is it true, tell me, that the director of the original Royal Shakespeare Company was the one who said it should be an African Julius Caesar after meeting Nelson Mandela. Now,
Yeah.
is that part true?
That's Greg Duran.
Okay.
That's right. And he met Mandela. Mandela told him about the importance of the play, Julius Caesar, in Robben Island. And he decided to do it then. We had a symposium in 2011. And for the first time, I mean, all these black actors that I'd heard about and some you work with, and there we were in this circle, and there was Julius Caesar, William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar uniting us. That triggered off something in my mind. My mind started saying, hey, you know something? If the doctrine is right, perhaps Africa can unite.
Wow. Now, you mentioned Mandela and how important it was for Robben Island. Now, is it also, tell us a little bit about the story behind the anthology of Shakespeare's complete plays that was shared at Robben Island and passed around through the inmates, and they would actually like sign their favorite plays?
They
Tell
did,
us
and
about that.
underline their favorite lines and things. But it seemed as though Julius Caesar was the most popular
Really?
that represented them at the time.
So they were like the critics.
Well, do you think it's because the anti-apartheid movement sort of,
That's
were
right.
similar
That's right. The whole
struggles?
political situation they were in, that play spoke to them loudly, and it told them that they had to have courage if they wanted to instigate change, real change. In a sense, you have to be ready and willing to sacrifice.
Yes.
And that's the question I think we have to ask all ourselves. Am I ready and willing to sacrifice for a cause that I see that is greater than me? I'm talking future,
Right.
personally. And I kind of see that that circle has to be complete. Once upon a time, there was a glorification of this African race. And that glorification, once again, has got to arrive. Otherwise, the world will be a poor place.
Now, how did you come to this project?
I don't know. My agent called me and said Greg Duran was doing a symposium on Julius Caesar. Would I like to go? So I went.
But you
know?
had to pick it for some reason. You didn't just say it's a paycheck. What made you say, I want to do this part?
Do you know, somehow, when I heard that Patterson Joseph and Ray Farron and Cyril Inri and all these, Adjoa Ando were all going to be part of it, I don't know, I felt very privileged to be asked to be part of that company, you know, and also the fact that we're attempting, you know, sometimes you kind of feel a bit like ambassadors, you know, you're doing an all-African piece, you're doing a major Shakespeare play, and you can't fail.
Right.
You have to, so every night we go out there and we pump out a lot of energy out there every night. You know, when you watch these guys work, I mean, I get killed in the first act, so that's me done.
Right.
You know, but the spirit of Caesar lives on up to this day, if you see the point, from 44 BC all the way till now, you know, the spirit, but he wasn't necessarily a bad man as they want to make out to be, if you know what I mean. We have these arguments with the actors all the time. Brutus and Cassius and myself, we're always having arguments of actually, is Caesar really a tyrant? Or have we killed the wrong person? Have we killed a person who possibly would be the one to unite, if we put it in the African context, that empire of Africa?
Sound like you guys are going in deep on this.
That's Shakespeare. You can't.
You have to go in deep,
You've
right?
got to go deep in Shakespeare.
Well, since you
He's
already-
deep. That's why he exists till now.
That's why he exists still now. That's why he's still so relevant. 400
That's right.
years
That's
later,
right.
Wow.
the text still applies.
That's right. And you could apply him to any age and any time, in any setting.
Any race?
Any race. There was a Much Ado About Nothing in London that the RSC did, set in India. You know, so it's something that, as actors, I think he's a gift to us. Intellectually, emotionally, you know, he's a real gift. I mean, just to look at the line, the iambic pentameter line of Shakespeare and work that out, it's like a real pleasure. When you get to free yourself within it. Somehow he's on top of us all the time. We think he's impossible, but somehow once you get in and try to discover, what's this writer asking me to do? Let me treat him as a new play, as opposed to all the things that we've heard. A new play. What's he asking me to do? Why is that comma there? Why is that full stop in the middle of a sentence when I'm told to run right to the end of the sentence when I'm speaking and not breathe in the middle?
Yes.
What am I supposed to do? Mental gymnastics with Shakespeare all the time.
It seems
Look
like
you're having a blast every night, huh?
Oh, yeah, well,
and you put a lot
cannot
of
not
thought
commit.
into it. Well, it sounds like you've committed so much into it that you want people to walk away with a certain feeling after you've put all
That's
this
right.
energy into it.
That's
What do
right.
you hope they walk away with after they leave the theater?
I think one of the main things that people walk away with is they say, do you know, I've read or seen this play so many times and it's never been as clear.
Wow.
So somehow whatever we bring to it, whatever from coming down from our director, in the way he explored the text in the rehearsals, whatever we bring to it, we're making it clear. Do you know, as I was being killed last night, was that Sunday night? Yeah,
As
Sunday
you were being
matinee.
killed last night. Yeah.
I looked out into the audience, and there was this kid, this young girl, this blonde girl, sitting about 5 rows. And I mean, she must have been, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, something like that. And I'm thinking, and I'm being killed, I'm thinking, what is she experiencing here?
Wow.
You know, this kind of, the business about theatre is a special experience, you know. We come in to tell a story about the assassination of this great Roman emperor guy, Julius Caesar, and we come in from the other side and we experience this storytelling. And that's the beauty of theatre for me. We come to experience a fantasy which, in a sense, can change your life if it's done well.
Wow.
Or at least start your mind thinking about things. You know, when we first read it, my mind started thinking, hey, we're unified by this Shakespeare text. What would it be like if we had a doctrine that could unify us the same way? That's what I came away with when then I suppose I'm always looking for them kind of.
Well, you are the perfect ambassador for this play,
Yes.
sir. Thank you so much for being here. You
Thank
were
you very
riveting.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
thank you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.